Have you ever seen one of my Madden reviews? You know the titles. Madden 20 is not good! Madden 21 is not good! Madden 22 is not good! I'm sure Madden 23 will also be not good! Because, well, let's be honest with ourselves. Between the stubbornness of sticking with a terrible engine for a football game, an over-reliance on animations, incompetent devs that can't even match the quality or depth of 15-year-old football games, and a massive number of influential YouTubers who can't stop promoting and defending a very poor product, well, Madden is set up to be not good for years to come, while making a boatload of money in the process. As you can see from the title of this video, however, Retro Bowl is very good. It may not be a traditional Madden-killing NFL 2K5 replacing game, but if you love fun gameplay, franchise mode, building a team, developing players, customizing a league, and having your decisions actually matter, you will love Retro Bowl. It's a mobile game, yeah, and there's a bit of a stigma with mobile games. People say they're all pay-to-win, gimmicky wastes of time, but not Retro Bowl. This game has some of the most innovative controls I've ever seen in a football game. Gameplay is easy to learn and truly fun and unique. It has depth that rivals some of the greatest football games ever. You can hire and fire coordinators for your staff, attend press conferences after a game, view league history, your team's records, the Hall of Fame, your own custom team Hall of Fame, and more. On top of that, the game has RPG elements where all of your decisions matter. Benching the starting quarterback has consequences, as does every answer you give to the media and every decision you make. You have a storyline that continues throughout each season. Your players can go from happy to unhappy pretty quick, which can result in some challenges. It's one of the deepest football games I've ever played, yet it's a free mobile game. Instead of having microtransactions all throughout the game like most mobile games or Madden, Retro Bowl is free to download and play. It only costs $1 for the full game, which includes the ability to customize teams and rosters. Yeah, create a team, something Madden hasn't had in a decade. You can view instant replays, and there's some other cool settings. Without paying a dime, however, you still get the full experience in terms of gameplay. But come on, most of you pay $60 to $70 a year for Madden only to complain about how much you hate it. So why can't you spend 99 cents for a game that's actually good, made by a developer that actually cares? Today I've actually collabed with one of my favorite YouTubers, JefeZhai, who has an awesome channel where he plays a lot of Retro Bowl as well as other mobile sports games, plus sports commentary and even fantasy football advice. He's incredibly talented, and I remember stumbling upon his channel a while back and just noticing how entertaining he is, the energy he brings, how well edited his videos are, and I often found myself laughing out loud at his content. How does he only have 33k subscribers? Let's raise that number, guys. He's a sports gaming YouTuber that actually makes good content. So when I decided to make a Retro Bowl video, I hit him up and asked him if he wanted to cook something up with me. Speaking of cooking, I've been doing a lot of that recently thanks to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. I live in the South, and even though it doesn't snow that often down here, it's still freezing right now. And honestly, there's nothing better than cranking up the heat and enjoying a home-cooked warm meal. Of course, I suck at cooking. First, I have to go to the grocery store, accidentally buy 12 things that aren't on my list, and then cook a meal big enough for Philip Rivers' entire family despite the fact that I live alone. HelloFresh has been a godsend for me because now I don't have to deal with all that. They deliver perfectly portioned ingredients to my door with easy instructions, and within 30 minutes, I've got a healthy, delicious home-cooked meal that's exactly enough food for me so nothing goes to waste. Instead of getting expensive takeout or unhealthy fast food, you can get HelloFresh meals delivered to your door including chicken ramen and shoyu-style broth and turkey ragu ganache. I don't even know if that's how you say that, but it's delicious. My point is, there are so many meals to choose from, you'll never run out of dinner ideas. And every single one I've tried so far has been incredibly tasty. I've saved so much time and money by using HelloFresh. Like I mentioned earlier, trips to the grocery store are few and far between now, and I can spend more time playing video games. Today I cooked Italian chicken and pepper sandos, and man oh man, I am going to order this 40 more times, it was that good. It only took half an hour to make, the recipe was really easy to follow, and just look at this final result. It was so good, man. I know you want to try HelloFresh, and luckily for you, I can save you money. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code SOFTDRINK14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. Go to HelloFresh.com and get 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. What are you waiting for? Again, the code is SOFTDRINK14. Thank you, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this video. If you go to the App Store on your phone, Go to the top free games. You won't see Madden Mobile there, but instead Retro Bowl, and for good reason. While most mobile sports games require a controller because of how bad the touchscreen controls are, Retro Bowl is actually made for the touchscreen. It's really simple. You tap the running back to snap the ball and instantly hand it off, or you pull behind the quarterback to aim and throw a pass. The pass throwing mechanic is my favorite part of the gameplay. In a traditional football game, you hit a button and the quarterback instantly throws a pass somewhere close to that receiver, but the player really has no control over where the ball goes. It could be wildly inaccurate and result in a scripted interception that leaves the player furious. But in Retro Bowl, you can place a pass wherever you want, lead the receiver, have them come back to the ball, or just throw it up and see what happens. The better your quarterback, the farther you can throw. It reminds me of Madden 18's target passing feature, which wasn't great but was cool to have. But in classic EA fashion, the feature was removed for Madden 19 and never seen again. Retro Bowl has perfected this mechanic, and because the game is played in a Tecmo Bowl perspective, it's a great match. To move your player, you simply swipe up or down to evade tackles, swipe back to make defenders miss, or swipe forward to dive. You only have to play offense, which makes games quick and easy to play when you're on a bus ride or need 10 minutes to kill. It's basically like playing only offense on Madden, where the game sims your defense and gives you text-based updates. While the option to play defense would be cool, I think this makes the game more fun and engaging, as well as easy to learn for people who may not have a lot of football knowledge. You also don't have to pick plays. The game simply shows play art before the snap, and you choose whether you want to run or pass. Again, the simplicity of the gameplay is what makes the game so fun and easy to come back to. When it comes to the game's design, it's obvious that this game was heavily inspired by Tecmo Bowl, from the camera to the graphics to the sound. There's even a scanline filter in settings, which gives the game that retro CRT vibe. The graphics are created by Pixel NFL, who do such a great job that the Steelers' official Twitter stole their artwork rather than making their own. But what makes this game so addicting is its simplicity. It's really easy to play. But like the old NFL head coach games, the difficulty is kind of up to you. Let the game send you to a terrible team if you want a challenge, or pick a good team, perhaps your favorite team, if you just want to light up the scoreboard. And of course, if you pay $1 for this game, you can edit every team and roster to either replicate the NFL or make your own fantasy league. As you can see here, I made the Sarasota Seamen. The addition of Color Rush uniforms is really cool too. The game doesn't have the NFL license, but that's not a big deal. Teams are named after NFL teams, so the Giants are called New York G, the Bills are called Buffalo, and so forth. It only takes a few minutes to change the team names if that's what you really want though. And unlike most indie football games, Retro Bowl is deep and refined. While it maintains its easy to grasp simplicity throughout the franchise mode, it has all of the features you'd expect and more. Your team is 10 players, although you can change that to 12 with the paid version, and you get to draft new players in the offseason, sign free agents, fire and hire your coaching staff, and more. Every time you run for your longest run, or throw your farthest touchdown, or kick your farthest field goal, the game will notify you that you just broke one of your own records. Each year the salary cap realistically rises, you can trade players, you can put players on the trade block, and signing free agents not only affects your cap space, but you also need coach points to influence the player to sign with your team. The better your team is, the more you win, the more points you earn. So naturally, if your team is a powerhouse, you can sign anyone within the salary cap, but if you straight up suck, no player is going to want to sign with your team, and you're not going to have any coach points. The game does allow you to buy coach points through microtransactions, but that's where the in-app purchases end. In my opinion, it's unnecessary unless you want to build a great team without winning any games. I found that the system is very fair and does not make the player even consider needing to buy coach points. A game like NBA 2K has an intentionally tedious grind to push the player into buying VC, but Retro Bowl is nothing like that. The option simply exists for those who want it, kind of like a cheat code. Players have morale, and so do your fans. After you finish a game, you get the option to make decisions that affect morale. When talking to the media, for example, you can choose to either praise your players for popping off, or your coach for preparing them. Each choice raises the morale of one but lowers it for the other, which can result in some really tough decisions, especially as you develop your team and learn to love all your players. Sometimes your team's owner might want to meet with you, and you have to choose between him or the media. Choosing the owner gives you more coach points, while choosing the media increases your fan rating. As I mentioned previously, it's like an RPG, and games like Madden can learn a lot from this indie game. I don't want to spoil everything, but your players can even get into legal trouble, and then you have to decide what to do about it. It's one of the most immersive football games I've ever played. It nails something that Madden hasn't been able to accomplish since the PS2 days, letting the player control the narrative and tell a story. There's a story behind you, your team, and your players. You can make everything your own. It's easy to start commentating games in your head, especially when things get crazy, such as when a player who got in trouble returns. How is he going to perform? You can feel the guilt when you replace your long-term starting quarterback with a rookie. You get absorbed and emotionally attached to your team because you get to make decisions that actually matter. And that, my friends, is what makes a sports game fun.
Alright, y'all, so I've been playing Retro Bowl for probably a little over a year and a half, since I was bald, and I honestly don't think I've had as much fun playing a sports mobile game since Madden Mobile 18. I think the first thing that makes the game great is that it's for everyone. The gameplay definitely has a little bit of a learning curve, but it's really simple. You know, it's not like you have to jam 8 fingers on your screen at once to make a play. And just breaking down the aesthetics, you know, the use of bright colors, the card art, the gameplay and its animations, and of course the game's title, Retro Bowl. It's truly a game for all ages. I think U-Star Games has also done a great job of giving us players a sense of ownership and a sense of creating a legacy, something that I feel like people crave. I mean, the game is extremely detailed. You can pretty much do everything imaginable, from changing the quarter length, the difficulty, the roster size, the weather. There's a team editor that allows you to change team names and team jerseys, so if you wanted to customize your own themes, for example, a college football team theme, or I don't know, Asian football team theme, you can do it all. If you don't like the fact that players have a randomly generated name, or you just think the player's name is dumb, you can change that too. And Retro Bowl purposely establishes this sense of creating a legacy at the very beginning of the game. You know, the message that recommends you to start with a bad team and build a name for yourself before you join your favorite team kind of sets the tone. You then play a game to evaluate your current players, usually trash players, and then you're straight to the draft, where once again Retro Bowl makes it extremely simple to understand. Every player only has 4 statistics: their potential rating and their current rating, and I honestly think that's all a player needs. Every step of the way so far perfectly aligns with what I think Retro Bowl is all about, which is control over building your own legacy and simplicity. Now, from a strategy aspect, I believe Retro Bowl has covered a lot of corners. Every decision that you make will affect your team in some way, whether that's trading a player, cutting a player, benching somebody, conditioning issues. All these factors right here tie into the gameplay, which I think is genius. And then you get to play the role of head coach as well by managing player morales, answering press questions, control over your offensive and defensive coordinators. The game purposely shows you the coaching record of Retro Bowls to create your own story and to beat Bill Belichick, because who doesn't want to be Bill Belichick? To me, however, the most impressive part of Retro Bowl is the connection that you build with your players. Whether it's a player that you drafted or signed off of free agency, or one that you've developed for years, the flow of the game naturally causes you to subconsciously have biases towards certain players. And that in itself creates more excitement for the game. Whether you want to stat pad a player so he wins more awards at the end of the year, or you want to build his stats up to induct them into your team's Hall of Fame, I think Retro Bowl does a great job of valuing this player connection. As far as what Retro Bowl can change, I think the main thing is the lack of control on defense. At the moment, defense is just a simulation, okay? And I want to feel more involved. You know, I want to feel like I'm actually the one locking up the offense. I don't know what would resolve this issue, but if players could have more control on defense, I feel like that would make the game even better. And I also think a way to connect online would be cool, something like a connected franchise. It would connect players across the world, and everyone only plays offense anyways, so let people battle it out and see who's the best. Despite having all of these elements to the game, Retro Bowl is really easy to get the hang of, and definitely, in my opinion, the best sports mobile game out.
Again, guys, JefeZhai deserves way more subscribers than he has, and in the description as well as the pinned comment, I put a link to his channel so you can help him grow. I really have nothing negative to say about this game. You can download it on your iPhone, iPad, Android phone, even your computer. It's not on BlackBerry, however. With Madden Mobile being pretty bad, especially compared to how it used to be, and with most mobile games being money-hungry, pay-to-win messes, Retro Bowl is a breath of fresh air. If I need that football fix and I want to build a team and get attached to my players, I'm going to play this game over Madden 22 10 out of 10 times. I would give Retro Bowl a strong 9 out of 10. It's nearly flawless. You can get the full experience for free, and for $1 you get more customization options. The game continuously gets updated. For example, this year it was updated with the most recent Super Bowl results under league history, and it also updated the schedule to 17 games to match the NFL. The ability to choose plays and play defense would be nice, even as paid options, but as the game stands, it's pretty much perfect. For a mobile game, it destroys, and compared to console football games, it's surprisingly competitive. Once again, shout out to JefeZhai for joining me today, shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring the video, and thanks for watching.